If you missed the last couple of weeks, I encourage you to look back at Depression 101 and 3 obstacles to treating depression so that you can get an overall view of the topic. Today, we're going to talk about how to deal with depression. I'm Angela. I am passionate about breaking the stigma of mental health issues among fellow Christians. I'm here to help you live a more purposeful life in your relationship with God and with one another. If you've been diagnosed with depression, that's not the end of the story. Recovery from depression is possible. Depression is something that you have. It's not who you are. I love what Dr. Jon Benson says. Depression describes you. It does not define you. So how do you find a life around it, despite it, and through it? There's not one simple answer to that question. I'm not going to say that it's easy because it can be difficult when an illness leaves you feeling helpless. So let's start with 3 simple steps. Number 1 is to refuse to isolate. We talked a little bit about this last week. Creating a support system that includes as many components as possible is crucial. You can include your family, your friends, your church, maybe even attend a support group. As many social connections that you can include in this is vital. It's easy to kind of give into the depression and never go out, but this doesn't empower you to push past your emotions and your feelings and find encouragement. I remember Dr. Benson talking about how important it is to simply even get out of the house when you're feeling really depressed. Because even if you can go out to a party for a couple of hours, it's going to make it a powerful impact on you because you are fighting against the illness and you're not letting it destroy your life. You're not letting it change who you are. And it's really important to refuse to isolate. And the best way that you can do that is to keep those connections. Number 2 is to engage a combination of both psychotherapy and medications. So people find the most success when they do a blend of treatment. Counseling will really help you focus on support and stress management, and it will help you to change those self-defeating thoughts and overcome that helpless feeling, as well as kind of address that acceptance piece of the puzzle. Regarding medications, I think there really seems to be a lot of confusion in this area. It's not uncommon to have to try several different medications or maybe even combinations of medications before finding the right fit for you. I just want to encourage you not to give up on this. It's worth the effort to fight for a better life. And most importantly, I want to encourage you that antidepressants do not increase the risk of suicide. I had a friend who was struggling with depression, and she started out with medication, and it was very helpful. She saw immediate change in her mood. She began to be sleeping better, and it was very encouraging to her. But there were still some things in her life that she wanted to change, and her life still felt a little bit out of control, and her marriage was very much up and down as a result of years of struggling with depression, and so she felt like her husband didn't really fully understand what she was going through. And so she decided to enter therapy not only for herself, but also therapy for her marriage. So her husband and she had decided to do periodic marriage counseling, and the transformation did take time. It took commitment, but it was very well worth the effort. I cannot speak enough about really realizing that it is a long-term commitment to the health of the individual, and that this isn't something that can just be an overnight success by a couple of sessions with a counselor. So that combination of psychotherapy and medication is very important for fighting depression. The 3rd step is addressing the physical area. So just briefly, exercise and light therapy have a significant impact on depression and should never be overlooked. I'd like to just give a special thank you to Dr. Jon Benson, who really took time to share his expertise with me so that I could pass it on to you. And I'd like to just really emphasize the value of continuing to learn and to grow as a person and not to give up. Romans 5:3-5 says that we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope, and hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured out into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. How are you dealing with depression? What success have you found in treating this illness? It would be awesome if you could just share that in the notes below, in the comments below. I would love to hear from you, and I know that other people would benefit from your insight as well. Please subscribe to more videos. I'll be sharing some great tips and encouragement for whatever it is that you're facing, whether you yourself have a mental illness or have a loved one who does. I'll see you next time. I'm Angela. I am passionate about breaking the stigma of mental health issues among fellow Christians. I'm here to help you live a more purposeful life in your relationship with God and with one another.